Good day, folks. Sean here from Air Photography. So this is my 30-day review of the GoPro Hero 13 Black. Now this isn't going to be an overly technical review going over all the features and specs. There's lots of videos about the Hero 13 Black online. This is just going to be more of my thoughts on it after using it for the past month. Now if you browse any of the Facebook groups, different forums, where people are discussing the Hero 13 Black, you know there's a lot of mixed reviews about it. A lot of mixed opinions about whether it was a worthwhile upgrade this year. Now for me, I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to the Hero 13 Black, whether it was worthwhile to upgrade or not. I think it's right across the board. Technology has kind of slowed down a bit, and it doesn't matter whether we're talking about action cameras, drones, smartphones, tablets. Every year when manufacturers come out with a new upgraded device, the new features and capabilities are now kind of minimal. And for the most part, I'm okay with that. It just means that I don't have to upgrade my phone every year. You can go to a 2-year upgrade cycle or even a 3-year upgrade cycle. And action cameras are the same way. If you're using the Hero 12 Black, maybe perhaps it's definitely not worthwhile to upgrade because essentially the camera itself is the same. Same sensor, same lens, same GP2 chip. There's a few new features, but, it may be not worthwhile to upgrade. If you're coming from something like a Hero 8 or 9, perhaps a 10, then definitely you're going to get all those previous generations plus what's new with the Hero 13, then perhaps it is worthwhile to upgrade. So I've been using it for about a month now. The core performance of the camera itself hasn't really changed all that much. We did get some nice new upgrades with it, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we go along here. The biggest thing for me is the magnetic mounts. I really enjoy magnetic mounts, and GoPro did a really good job with it. Not only is their magnetic mount reversible, but we still have the option of using finger mounts. They're still built into the bottom, and their magnetic mount just clips right over top. So it's a really nice design, what they've done there. I actually really like that. And I am a big fan of magnetic mounts because it makes going from accessory to accessory so easy. You don't have to mess around with thumb screws. You can easily attach it and detach it as needed. So for me, I'm really happy that they finally brought magnetic mounting to the Hero lineup. And on top of that, they did a really good job with the design and the engineering. However, with that said, what is a fail is that they didn't even include one in the box. If you want magnetic mounting, you do have to buy them. If you get one of the DJI action cameras, they come with either one magnetic mount or two. The Insta360 series, they come with magnetic mounts, but GoPro decided not to include one in the box. So to me, that's kind of a fail. Other than that, the form factor is identical, which I'm okay with because that means we don't have to upgrade some of the other equipment like the media mod, waterproof housings. Any of those types of accessories are going to be completely compatible. We did lose the blue speckling, which I'm actually pretty happy about. I didn't really like that. I wasn't a fan of the blue speckling on the Hero 12. And we still don't have a touchscreen on the front, which isn't super important, but it does come in handy. If you've got this mounted out in front of you or it's up against something where you can't touch the back, then being able to change the settings on the front screen would be nice, but they still haven't brought that yet. And on top of that, they still have a small preview screen. Most of the competition have gone to nice large screens now. Some of the cameras now have OLED, but GoPro hasn't updated that yet. Perhaps we will see that next year. We also got an upgraded battery. It's a little bit larger. It does add some extra record time, but they didn't make it backward compatible even with last year's camera, which to me again is another fail because if you've invested in batteries for your Hero 12, if you decide to upgrade to the Hero 13 Black, you're going to have to buy a brand new charger and you're going to have to buy all new batteries. And it still doesn't support quick charging. It's one of those things that's not important to everybody, but it does take significantly longer. You can have your DJI or the Ace Pro 2 battery charged up in under an hour, about 56 minutes, whereas your GoPro Hero 13 Black battery is going to take you about 2 hours. And those other cameras can have an 80% charge in about 20 minutes, whereas your GoPro will be in about the mid-30s. So when it comes to the battery technology, they are a little bit behind as well. GoPro has been using the GP2 chip for the last few generations, and it's starting to show its age. Some of the new action cameras, such as the Action 5 Pro or the Ace Pro 2, do a really good job in low light just because they have the power. They both have pretty modern chips, powerful chips that can do a lot of image processing when you're filming in low light, whereas the Hero 13 Black still isn't able to do that because the GP2 chip just isn't fast enough. I'll just show you an example here, some low light footage shot on the Hero 13 Black and the DJI Osmo Action 5. You can see the Osmo Action 5 footage looks really good. It's very bright. The stabilization is better. The GoPro is really struggling in low light. Now, for me, that's not a huge thing because when I'm filming at night, I definitely don't use an action camera. Usually I'll use my iPhone, which does a pretty good job, or I'll use something like the Pocket 3, which has a mechanical gimbal, so the footage looks really good. Plus it has a 1-inch sensor. So low light performance for me is not it's not a deal breaker when choosing an action camera, but for some people it is, so I just wanted to show that. Now, all the footage that I'm showing throughout this video has all been shot in auto. There's been no grading. Most of it was filmed at 5.3K at 30 frames per second. And there's no denying that GoPro footage just looks really good. GoPro has always had that nailed down. The stabilization is phenomenal, and they give you lots of different options when it comes to stabilizations. You can have that auto boost, so you can still get a wider shot because it's not going to crop in as much if it doesn't need it. I'm also happy that they brought GPS back to the GoPro. It's not a feature I use a lot. Other action cameras can use GPS as well, but it does require you purchasing additional hardware. With the Hero 12 Black, they took it away, but they did bring it back with the Hero 13 Black. And it's kind of nice because it's there if you want it. With the other action cameras, you got to plan for it. You got to make sure you have those accessories with you. And sometimes you're filming and you're wishing you had that GPS telemetry in there. But with the GoPro, you don't have to worry about that. It's always going to be there. Now, as mentioned, I'm not going to go over all the technical details. There are a few other little features that they added, which are really nice. Mind you, they could have been added via firmware to some of the older cameras as well. The ability to rename a custom preset without having to connect it to the app is really nice. We can do short video bursts for extreme slow motion, which is kind of neat. Another nice update that they introduced this year are their auto-detecting lenses. They have a new ultra-wide angle lens, which essentially is the Max Lens Mod 2.0. They've just renamed it. But now when you install it, it auto-detects it and will set up the camera accordingly. They also have a macro lens, which, I'm not going to really use a lot, but it is kind of nice if I do want to get a little bit creative. Again, this is auto-detectable, so the camera will set up for it. And of course, they have a new line of ND filters, which again can be auto-detected. And the nice thing about these is that it'll tell you whether you should go up a little bit higher or a little bit lower. So that's a great feature, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with ND filters. It takes a lot of the guesswork out, and you can still get that nice motion blur if that's what you're trying to achieve. Plus, sometime down the road, they have an anamorphic lens that's going to be coming that's going to be fully compatible as well. So these new lenses do add a lot of flexibility to your camera and can allow you to get creative and get the stylish shot that you want. Those other lenses I don't tend to really use a lot. What is really important to me, however, is the Max Lens Mod. And for the most part, that's the only time I actually really use a GoPro these days is when using it in conjunction with the Max Lens Mod or now the ultra wide angle lens. The footage and the field of view is just phenomenal. The stabilization and just some of the tools that are included while using it make it a very valuable tool. Lately, I've been using a DJI action camera as my daily driver. As mentioned, the only time I tend to use my GoPro is when using it with this lens. For the most part, this is what I have installed at all times on my GoPro. So yeah, those are my thoughts of the Hero 13 Black after using it for the past month. Knock on wood, I have not had this camera freeze up on me yet. I haven't lost any footage. That's kind of been a problem in the past with past models. Sometimes they were a little bit unreliable. Even my Hero 12 Black had locked up on me from time to time. But I have used this quite a bit and I haven't had it freeze up on me once. So maybe they've kind of tweaked the software a bit. Maybe they've figured out some of the problems. So far for me, it's been running really stably, which is, very important. Nothing worse than filming something and losing the footage because the camera locks up. I haven't had it overheat on me yet. I did have it overheat while I was doing some tests at a desk, but that's not real world situations. But using it out in the field, I have not had it overheat. Filming at 4K 60. Now, I'm not filming for more than half an hour at a time, and there's air movement. If you have it on a tripod, you're filming something for an hour at 4K 60, there is a chance that it will overheat, especially on a hot day. But for me, just using it, I haven't had it overheat. Now, whether it's worthwhile upgrading, if you're coming from something like the Hero 11 Black or Hero 12 Black, I guess is going to be different for every user. For me, if it wasn't for this channel, I probably wouldn't have upgraded. That magnetic mounting system is very appealing, but I don't know if it would have justified me upgrading. The reason I upgraded, obviously, I like to review cameras, test them out. So, for me, it was worthwhile to purchase. But, if you're just a casual user, you use your GoPro once in a while, you have a Hero 11, Hero 12 Black, and you're happy with it. Personally, I don't know if it would be worthwhile to upgrade, unless, like I said, those new lenses or perhaps the magnetic mounting system is a must-have, then maybe perhaps it is. So yeah, folks, those are just some quick thoughts of the Hero 13 Black after using it for the last 30 days. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Did you upgrade? Are you happy you upgraded? Do you have any kind of regret of upgrading? Let me know down in the comments. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it and found it had value. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.